To the Pretend Pundits, just like Liverpool pretending the Community Shield is a real trophy, we're going to pretend to know about football for a 30th consecutive week. I don't know why I said consecutive, because we have had a couple of breaks, but we're back. Welcome in, everybody. I've lost the Twitch chat, so YouTube chat, so let me just bring that up, just so I can see everyone's lovely messages. Sean, how you doing, mate? The Premier League is finally over.
It's mixed with a bit of sadness, but a lot of pride. I think nobody expected us to finish where we finished, but it's in our hands and we let it slip. So some good moments, some sad moments, some great moments, some bad moments. Oh, I sounded like I was a poet then.
It's yeah, it is a little bit sad, but I mean, you did go out with a bang. 5-0 win, mate. Did you make much of the game at all?
Loved it. Yeah, I was watching 3 games at the same time, and watching Al Jazeera TV for the Arsenal match. Yeah, it was good. Xhaka was amazing. If that's his last game, what a game to go out on, eh?
Yeah, that's it. Was it just the 2 goals? Was it? I didn't see the rest of it.
Scored 2, could have scored a third, but his foot went into jelly mode and he didn't get enough contact on it. Could have scored 3 within 30 minutes. He was incredible.
He didn't fancy a red card just for old time's sakes.
I'm sure it crossed his mind. There was a lot of talk a few months ago when he was supposedly over the coals for betting on himself to get yellow cards, and I wonder if that would have been like prime Granit Xhaka to bet on himself to get a red card in the last game.
And going 2 foot like Ruben Neves or something in the chest in the 89th minute. Yeah. Evening, Ben Ray. Welcome in, dude. Glad to see you here as always. Yeah, like you say, it's a little bit of a sad day because it is the end of the Premier League, of course. The sadness has been tarnished a little bit, or not tarnished. What's the opposite of tarnished? But it's been made a little bit brighter, shall we say, because Leeds have been relegated back to where they belong in the Championship. Everton with an absolute masterclass revival. That was a hell of a game, I have to say. There's some of the saves in that game. The goal was fantastic, but the saves really, really made that game, I think. And Everton deservingly scraping themselves into the Premier League for next season. Can you see them doing as bad next year in the Prem, or do you think that's a scare too many for the board?
No, I think that they're on their way down. It's inevitable, isn't it? They're breaking financial fair play. They're going to build a new stadium, and they've not got any assets to sell. So I think the only way is down for Everton, unfortunately for them.
Okay. Yeah, obviously Luton have made their way into the Premier League this season. You normally look towards the teams that go up, and they're the first ones to go down. I think the way that Company's been playing with Burnley, they're probably not going to get relegated, but it's hard to tell. It's early days. I think Everton have got something about them. I think they will be able to muster up some sort of results next year. Is Sean Dyche still under contract? Do you know? I can't remember whether he's.
Oh yeah, he will be. I have no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Dean Smith, I know that he got relegated with Leicester. He's no longer under contract. But yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Let's just bring up the results from today. So as we've discussed, Arsenal 5-0 with Wolves. Thank you everyone who is here already, by the way. If you are here, just drop a like on the video. And if you haven't done so already, give us a subscribe too. Got plenty more content coming up, even though the season is over. One of the biggest games of today then, I'm going to go to Leeds versus Tottenham. That was important, obviously, at both ends. Leeds losing 4-1 to see themselves relegated. Tottenham done all they could to try and ensure that they was playing European football next season, albeit the Conference League. However, Aston Villa getting their result against Brighton means that spot was secured by them. Was there any other games apart from those that stood out to you this weekend, or...
Southampton, Liverpool. Oh my God.
Yeah, they leave it a little bit too late, but yeah, to produce 4 goals against Liverpool isn't a bad way to bow out.
Yeah, I was quite surprised, and then I saw that they played Kelleher in goal, and I thought, there's a reason why you scored 4 goals.
Yeah, true. I mean, they've not really got anything to save themselves for. It's the same with Man City. I mean, I know they've got big games coming up, but surely you want to maybe get a bit of prep in the legs. I don't know, but they obviously lost to Brentford. That is a bit of a surprise, to be honest, because even with their depth, they shouldn't be losing to Brentford at home. But hey, happens to the best of us, right?
You got a fan in the background, Andy? It just seems to be.
I do. Is it coming through too loud?
Just catching your microphone, I think.
Right, let's turn that off. I'll just Betty Swallocks my way through this podcast. It must be my mic settings. I normally have the threshold off, but yeah, it's an old fan. It's a bit squeaky, bless her. She's given us some good years. Yeah, Leicester did everything they could to try and save themselves, but to no avail. It was always in Everton's hands. Yeah, Leeds just a poor showing of themselves. 2 minutes in was the first goal.
Yeah.
I do just want to point to one of my favourite lines of commentary has come out from today, and that was Gary Neville when he commentated on the Everton game.
Right.
There was a chance that Damari Gray had, I think it was in the second half, where he had a pretty much free header at the keeper, put it either side of the keeper and it's in, but he softly heads it towards the keeper. And Gary Neville said he apologises to the ball instead of putting his head through it. I mean, Gary Neville is certainly no master commentator, but that just was really funny. That was such a great analogy. I loved it. It was really good.
I thought, what on earth's he wobbling on about? But then, when I just kind of glanced over it, but when you read it back, then I thought, I quite
often think about what is he wobbling on about, Gary Neville, to be honest. But
what a wordsmith he is.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give him credit. The only real credit you can give him this season, of course, is from his prediction of the season when Arsenal were clear in the lead. I know you're not going to like to hear it again, but he called it exactly as it was, and it happened exactly how he said it would.
See, long-term viewers of the show will know that I didn't want to say that we'll win the league, and the very moment that I said I think we could win the league is the moment that we ballsed everything up.
They're sitting in their dressing room now going, damn Sean, fuck's sake.
It's my fault.
Ben says, can't think what the commentator's name is, but when Everton scored, the scream he gave was immense, properly captured the moment. Yeah, I don't know who that was alongside. I imagine it was Martin Tyler. It's normally them two, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I imagine the ground absolutely fucking erupted when that goal went in as well. Hell of a shot.
Yeah, great shot.
The way the ball moved, it looked like it deflected, but...
There was another shot at the other end towards the end that Pickford saved. It was a magnificent save.
Mm-hmm. When he went down to his left, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh man, what a save!
Yeah, really good saves. Even Travers in the game as well. I don't know if he's their first choice. I know he wears the number 1, but I always thought that Neto was sort of pushing for the number 1 spot. But yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing Bournemouth in the Premier again next season. I'm wondering if they can kick on and survive.
It's only so that you can stop calling their stadium tin pot now that we got Luton in there.
Well, yeah, that's it. It makes it look like the fucking Bernabeu now, doesn't it? Bloody Vitality Stadium compared to Luton's ground. Bloody hell. Still can't believe that's a Premier League fucking stadium.
Where do you think the VAR room's going to be? Do you think it's going to be across the corridor in somebody's like granny annex?
Yeah, going to have to ask the fucking neighbours if they can use their TV to check the VARs. Crazy. Let's have a look then at the... Wait, let's just give a quick shout out. The 2 games we haven't mentioned, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest. That's got to be the least watched game today, right?
It's got to be.
Chelsea, Newcastle 1-1. Again, a nothing game for both teams there.
Go on, Frank.
Yeah, Newcastle, right? Oh, here's a good stat just before I move away from this one. Sean Dyche, his first managerial job in the Prem this season, obviously was Everton, wasn't it? He's now got more wins as a manager this season in the Premier League than Frank Lampard. And he's only managed 1 team for half a season. Lampard's managed 2 different teams over the whole season. That's just terrible. Frank, get yourself in the bin. Just to think there are still people that say he's a better manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Crazy. So let's give it up then for the final Premier League table 2023. Mm-hmm. City champions, no one cares. Arsenal, Man United, and Newcastle in the Champions League spots. How excited are you for the Champions League, Sean, honestly?
world champion. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Back to the Champions League, where we belong. I see. Are we seeded in the second pot or the third pot or something obscene, despite not being in Europe for a couple of seasons? I see something about it.
I think I'd imagine you'd be in the second. To this day, I still don't understand the seeding. I think Newcastle go in the fourth pot, which kind of makes sense, and I think we go in the second pot as well. I'm not sure. But yeah, the group stage draw is always really confusing. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I'd like to not play against Karabag FC and Cluj and all of those Azerbaijan teams, all that bollocks. So I'm looking forward to some decent away games.
Well, you'd prefer them in your group other than like Bayern Munich, PSG, right?
They're the ones that get put on the adverts. So when you're seeing the MasterCard advert, it's normally Barcelona putting 6 goals past Arsenal or Bayern Munich putting 6 goals against Arsenal. It's always nice to see Arsenal on adverts.
Yeah, there is that, but you don't want to be finishing third and dropping down to the Europa League, right?
Definitely not.
Right. Yes, of course, confirmed then Southampton, Leeds and Leicester going down. Leicester, again, I'm not really too disappointed with any of them teams that have gone down. Southampton bottled it. Leeds are just Leeds. And Leicester, they've just been boring as well, to be honest. Forest don't exactly fill me with excitement. It'll be interesting to see what happens with them next season. Bournemouth, again, on a bit of an up towards the end with Gary O'Neill. Be good to see what they can do. There was something you sent earlier on that was pictures of 3 notable players from each of them relegated teams. Do you predict a fire sale?
I think that they will all go from all of those teams. There's no way that Leicester can keep hold of Tillemans. I mean, Tillemans on the going on a free anyway. Maddison, he's not going to stick around in the Championship. Harvey Barnes, I think, could be a decent backup, even at Man City. I think he's that good. Sinisterra, I think, did Leeds pay 30 million for him?
No, he came from Feyenoord, didn't he?
Yeah, no 30 million pound player is going to go and play in the Championship. Willie Notto, maybe, because he's quite young. I think they've paid for his potential rather than his ability. Maybe Somerville as well. He's got a good reputation, but he's not really done too much for Leeds this season. But Lavia, I think Man City will buy back on their buyback clause and then maybe sell him because he's not getting into Man City's midfield. Make a bit of profit on that. Maybe Bella Kotchap would stay in there. I think there'll be a lot of people after him, but he's only just signed with them, so I'll be surprised if they sell him again. But Ward-Prowse he's got to leave, and it'd be disappointing for Southampton fans. I've met James Ward-Prowse. I've met him at a Marriott hotel in Bournemouth once. Seemed like a nice guy. I met Van Dijk there as well. But yeah, he seemed like a really down to earth and humble guy. So I think he quite likes the city and being part of the club. So I'd be surprised if he would want to leave, but there'll be a lot of clubs after him.
Yeah, did you not give him a nudge while you're there going, come on, Jim. You know what to do. You know you want to come to Arsenal.
So when I met the guys there, they all came through, and there was a guy putting out a load of envelopes, which I guess had the room keys and stuff into it. And we were talking to him before the lads came through, and we knew that they were coming in on the bus. Like, they had the tracksuits on and everything. And I said that at the time my favourite player from Southampton was James Ward-Prowse. And the guy who could have been a physio, he could have been a chef, he could have been anything. He says, yeah, but he just needs to apply himself, take care of his body right and treat himself like a professional athlete. I thought, this is amazing. Like, what an open and frank conversation. And then, yeah, they just all walked through, and you just like, James, Virgil. I've got a nice picture with Jay Rodriguez, and I got a really blurry, fuzzy picture with Van Dijk because he's about 8 foot tall, and I couldn't get a decent picture.
Could you get any close to Virgil van Dijk with his aura going off? Or
yeah, well, yeah, it was just very blurry. I'll send you the pictures later. I'll put them in the Discord.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, get them in the Discord. Get the pictures in the Discord. That's an invitation to everyone. If you haven't done so already, in this video description, you'll find the link to the Discord. Get yourselves in there. and come and chat with us about football. There's no football, so we need to talk to people about stuff. Come on. Ben's licking his lips. Yeah, Ben's licking his lips at the prospect of cheap relegation deals. I think there'll be some players to be had. I can't see there being like a mass thingy. Like Leicester, you're going to say, like, Vardy's not going to get a... excuse me. Vardy's not going to get a big move now, is he?
No. Was he 36, 35, 36?
It wouldn't surprise me. His wife's a grass as well.
Yeah.
Harvey Barnes is brilliant. He's definitely a Prem player. Maddison, I think that there's been some stuff about Newcastle, right, for a long time.
Makes sense.
Let's move this on to the next category then while we're on the subject. Summer transfers. Pictured, I've got Declan Rice and Mason Mount. They've obviously been the sort of centrepiece of a lot of stories that's gone on in the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Declan Rice, David Moyes has been absolutely adamant about him that he's not moving anywhere. And if he does move, his price is 150 million. And I think there's now, for the first time a few weeks ago, he admitted there's a possibility that he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he leaves dependent on how West Ham get on in their European final, or do you think it's done already? His fate sealed?
It is done. The deal might not have been done, but I dare say he's got a gentleman's agreement. I mean, last summer he was talking about wanting to play in the Champions League. I dare say he's probably said to the board or the manager or whoever's in charge of transfers there, I need to leave for Champions League football. I want to cement my place, and you guys can't give me Champions League football. I think 150 million is obscene. I do not think that we will pay 150 million. I think he's maybe an 80 million pound player, but maybe with some performance add-ons, like if you, I don't know, make the semi-finals of the Champions League, or you win the Premier League, or you win an FA Cup or whatever, that you can afford to pay a little bit more for him. But 120 million, 150 million is just nonsense. And if that's what they're demanding, I think he'll probably push for a move, put a transfer request in, and say publicly that he wants to leave.
Yeah, I think I saw somewhere, obviously the other person pictured Mason Mount, his best mate or whatever. Somehow he got valued. He's been valued at 60 million.
Nonsense.
And I think it was Rice was 100 million. So 160 million for the pair. They're good. But I'm sorry, you can pick up someone that's exactly the same as Mason Mount that's not 60 million if they're not English. I don't know where his price tag has come from. Declan Rice, I can understand it a bit more. Declan Rice is far the better player to Mason Mount.
Where would you value Mason Mount at?
30 million?
I'd say the same.
I don't think that's unreasonable considering his wage and time left on his contract. He's been on the bench for a team that's finished 12th and underperforming. You know, I understand that they've made a load of signings, but he's not even starting, even under Lampard, who supposedly was his number one fan. Right? It's just odd and bizarre. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he's not 60 million. He's 30 million at most. He's, for the most part, unproven. I know he's made appearances in the national team, but he hasn't done enough to say he's a 60 million player. He should be playing in the Champions League and he should be earning 250 grand a week. Not a chance.
I think they're playing him in the wrong position anyway. Every time I see him, he's always playing on one of the wings, and I don't see him as that. I don't see him as a number 10 either. So I don't think he's as creative as your Odegaards, your Bernardo Silvas, your Kevin De Bruyne's, and all of that. I think he's probably better in like a number 8 role, where he links up with the number 10s, links up with the defensive midfielders. He's not the guy that gives you the pass that scores. He's the guy that passes to the guy who makes the pass for the goal.
Yeah, I mean, let's just put it this way. If we've seen the best of Mason Mount already, then he hasn't really got a great career ahead of him. I think he needs to work on his potential. If it means getting away from Chelsea, I mean, I just can't see it myself. Honestly, I can't see him moving away from Chelsea. He seems like one of, like, you know, it's a bit of a cliche to say it, but one of their own.
Yeah.
So it would surprise me if he moves away, but there was some really heavy links with him to Man United this week, and I thought to myself, okay, I've spoken enough shit about him, but honestly, would you have him? Yes, but paying 60 million for him would just piss me off because it's just another one of them situations where you may well have overpaid for a player. Like if you pay 30 million for Mount, it doesn't work out. That's kind of what you expect. It's 30 million, right?
Yep. Yep. I think he could take Fred's spot quite easily. Have Casemiro, maybe Bruno in your number 10, and then Mount behind him. I don't think that'd be a terrible midfield, to be fair. Better than McTominay.
Yeah, and like I say, the only thing that annoys me about it the most, I know I've harped on about it before, but the only thing that annoys me when it comes to us, ever since the season has started to come towards an end and the transfer stories slowly come out, we get linked with a new right back. Frimpong, Kim Min Jae from Napoli, the centre back. We're linked with another defender. We're linked with Mount. It's like we've known for almost the entirety of this season that our number one priority is a clinical striker, a finisher, whether that be a number 9 or someone who can just play up top and is ruthless. But Harry Kane's been linked with us for years, so that's not a new story. Osimhen's one of the top talents in Europe right now, so that's not a story. Where's the serious, Man United have entered serious negotiations? We should have a deal agreed within 2 weeks, and anything else isn't good enough.
So you wouldn't keep Weghorst on? You wouldn't sign him permanently?
No.
Damn.
Okay.
I think it's a done deal.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really saddened by the whole Weghorst thing because I just don't understand why it didn't work out. I just don't get it. You've got to have faith in the manager, right, all the way through. Trust the process. I still have complete and utter faith in Ten Hag. This time next week, though, it could be a different story. I'm not going to be happy, but I don't think it's Ten Hag's fault if we lose next week. It's the talent is already... I can't think of a best way to word this. Like, on paper, the game's finished already. Like, we don't stand a chance. So anything above a thrashing is already a sort of a win.
It's the beast you're playing, isn't it? It's just Man City. They're just a phenomenal team.
That's it. Ben, how have we not mentioned the fact that Big Dave saved his first penno today? I'll be honest with you, Ben. I was playing Call of Duty during the Man United game. It was just a nothing game for me. And for Fulham as well. I was keeping an eye over what was going on with the Everton game and Leeds Tottenham game. But yeah, I thought it was 2-0. I thought they've got a penalty. It was a stupid challenge from Casemiro as well. He just cleaned his leg from behind him. And yeah, amazing. You thought it was 2-0, saved it, went on for the big 2-1. We didn't talk about the United game much, but there's nothing to talk about. Fred just proving his inconsistency yet again. He's been shit for the last few games he's played. And he comes up with like one of the world's best passes ever today for Fernandez's goal. So we'll enjoy seeing more of Fred's inconsistencies next season. I'm sure of it.
You don't think you'll sell him?
Nah, who wants him?
That's a very good point.
I think there was a story going around at the time that when we signed Fred, it was only because Man City was in for him. So that was our transfer policy for a bit. Same with Sanchez, same with Ronaldo. But there you go. Other summer transfers. Do you know much of the happenings with Arsenal at the minute? Is there much word on the street or Twitter?
I see that we got linked with Mount as well. I would like a new striker. I don't want to put any trust in Eddie Nketiah. I see that he tries really hard, but I don't think he's the caliber of striker that we need. A lot of rumours with obviously Rice and Caicedo. I just don't think Mikel Arteta is going to spunk 170 million on transfers in one window again, because I know that he did it a couple of seasons ago. And
I was about to say again.
Yeah, he got a lot of hate for that, but we desperately needed it. Xhaka looks like he's leaving. We'll be sad to see him go. Reece Nelson looks like he's leaving on a free with often the 4-year deal. So obviously we want to keep him there. Smith Rowe is the weird one for me, because Villa offered 25 million for him a couple of seasons ago. maybe even at the beginning of this season, and we said no. We gave him the number 10 shirt, signed him a new contract. But he had I think it was a thigh or a calf issue at the beginning of the season, and then we introduced him back, and then he required surgery on it, and then he's kind of been in and around the first team since February, and it's not really clicking for him. And last season he was the joint highest goal scorer with Martinelli. It's just very, very, very weird. So I don't know what's going on there, whether Mikel Arteta doesn't trust him anymore, doesn't fancy him. But I think there's a decent enough player in there to give him enough opportunities next season. But with the playing Champions League football instead of Europa League, it's going to be tough to integrate youth players in there. But we'll see how we get on. There's not many transfer rumours. I'd like Vlahovic because I think that he offers a second option. But you don't buy a £60 million player to play a B plan if your A plan doesn't work. It's difficult, isn't it? It's a difficult balance.
No, you're absolutely right. Smith Rowe, the chant emerged from his amazing form that he was having, Saka and Emil Smith Rowe, And it is a shame. Like, do you think any of that is linked with just Ødegaard being fantastic as well?
Kind of, because I mean, Smith Rowe, he is a number 10. He wears the number 10, but we played him on the wing last season when Martinelli was in and out of form or injured. And he scored a lot of those goals where he was coming in off of the left. It's difficult to break into that first team, isn't it? If you're not, that's the dangerous balance that a Premier League manager has to have. He's got the first team, and then he's got the players that are trying to get into the first team. Ødegaard is irreplaceable at the moment, but if he has a bad spell of form, bring in Smith Rowe. If Saka's playing poorly and we get to sign Reece Nelson into a contract, play Reece Nelson. For the love of God, do not play Cedric, because apparently he's got another year left on his fucking deal. I read that the other day. Apparently he's still got a year left. I don't know how long we signed this guy for. Get the fuck out.
No, I know. It's exactly what you mean. You don't want to be dropping your best players, but sometimes you just don't have a choice.
Yeah, you got to give some game time to these young, hungry players, because if you close the door to the youth academy, then the youth academy, like we had Omar Hutchinson, I think that last season he left to go to Chelsea, and he thought he was going to get some game time at Chelsea, and then new owners came in, bought everybody, and he had to get farmed out on loan. But he probably would have played this season because he looks incredible. It's a dangerous balance.
Yeah, and I feel like Arteta might manage okay. He's obviously had a lot to learn from this season, where as soon as the Europa League knockouts kicked in, it was sort of a tough balancing act. You've come out of the cups kind of early, but I don't think he'll be that interested. You need to use the FA Cups and the Carabao Cups. They're where you need to bring your fringe players in and see what they can really do. You can't take risks so much in the Prem or even the Champions League group games. Like you say, it might be a Karabag, it might be a Copenhagen or whatever, but they're Champions League games at the end of the day. Anything can happen. You don't play games with them, especially when you see Sheriff turn Real Madrid over. And who was it that beat... there was a big one this season, wasn't there? I can't remember who it was. I'm sure it was last season. It was Sheriff beat Real Madrid. But, yeah.
It was Bayern. Bayern lost to somebody, didn't they?
Possibly, yeah.
Or it was in Bayern's group. I can't remember. We'll go back and we'll have a look at it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what you got to do. Introduce the fringe players and find where you can build yourself a team, as well as having a solid starting 11. I think that was really important, especially this is something that Man United had under Solskjaer, where he just never was able to find his best 11. And the players that he had in his starting 11 most of the time was through just because they were there, like necessity. It wasn't a choice to play Harry Maguire. There was just no other option available because Twanzebe was he was on loan, Bailly was always injured, and there wasn't anyone better, But I think we've got enough depth in the likes of defence. Now I think the midfield and attack we really need to work on, possibly goalkeeper. But yeah, you want to have, as well as a first choice, you want to have the immediate being able to name the backups to them as well. So not only do we need like a Harry Kane, but we also need someone who's definitely playing backup to them. We need someone who's going to step in when Bruno, even though Bruno plays every game, he needs to have a replacement that can do just as good as job, you know?
Absolutely. Maybe James Maddison. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
James Maddison. Yeah, James Maddison.
I'm personally not a huge fan of James Maddison. I think he's been linked with Newcastle, hasn't he?
But he'd be a good backup for Bruno, though, if he's happy to play that role.
Yeah.
I did see rumours with Alexis Sanchez coming back to Arsenal because he's leaving Marseille
as
on
a coach.
Free. No. Coming back as a rotation option. 35 years old. I don't know how I feel about that.
No.
But leaving Marseille on a free, Mikel Arteta apparently is good friends with him. Get maybe a season out of him. I don't know. I remember when Lichtsteiner, he was 35 and we signed him as a backup for, who was a right back? Bellerin at the time. And honestly, I've seen milk turn quicker. He was awful.
Oh, what an analogy that is. Yeah, I think it's a dangerous game signing 35-year-olds. Ironically, Cavani was a better signing than Ronaldo for us, and he was that. I swear to this day, Ronaldo signing ruined Cavani. Cavani was unstoppable before Ronaldo came, and I don't think it had anything to do with it. Maybe it was he had a bit of a hump because he took the 7 shirt off him, but I think Cavani was the boy, wasn't he? And then Ronaldo, just without doing anything, sort of took over. So
yeah, you don't bench Ronaldo.
No. But I'm excited. The summer transfer window officially opens. Is it
30th of June?
Yeah, it's the start of July, isn't it? So the full July and August. But I think when the last league games are done, I think you can start making deals and stuff. The age we live in now, Twitter world, we know about deals before Sky Sports News and all the big outlets know. So we'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. Transfer news will probably make up the bulk of our content during the summer, if I'm honest, with no tournament. We'll just have to see what goes on. But I predict a big summer, I do, for transfers. What do you think?
Massively, yeah. The amount of money that's in the Premier League and now the Championship as well, with that, with the EFL deal, the Championship, League 1 and League 2, there's going to be some mega money spent down there. Wrexham are, of course, they're in League 2 now, so they're going to have some big name signings. I see... I forget what his name, Morten Gamst Pedersen at 41 said, I want to play for Wrexham. Who doesn't want to play for Wrexham right now?
Yeah, I just had to try and think what year it was when I heard about Morten Gamst Pedersen being moved. But so we'll move on from player movement then, I think, naturally, to manager moments. So all things going on with managers at the minute. The biggest story, of course, is Poch. According to what I've been reading online, it's all but done. He's agreed a 3-year deal at Chelsea. I saw it was meant to be announced after the game, but that obviously hasn't happened. But it's 99% done. What do you think about Poch?
I'm a bit disappointed in Poch because I always thought that he was a manager with a bit more morals. He took Southampton. He loved Southampton. He begrudgingly went to Spurs. He loved Spurs. He was touted for a big move. He went to PSG. Don't think he was given the trust and the love that he probably wanted back. And everybody wanted him at Man United. And it was almost like the planets didn't align. He was never available when the United job was available. And
Spot on.
Yeah, and so to go to Chelsea. I'll make a prediction. He's going to be sacked before the end of the first year, easily.
Really?
Honestly, they paid big money to get Graham Potter. They backed him heavily, but how many of those signings were Graham Potter signings? I don't know.
I can't see it happening, mate. The amount of time that they gave Potter and the results that he was pulling in, they've probably learned their lesson. There are people to this day that might still even say that they should have stuck with Potter, because you can't give a manager all these brand new signings and all that money spent and and not give them a chance. You know, if the same would have happened with Klopp, he'd have been on his arse ages ago. Took him a long time to start getting a rhythm out of the Liverpool squad, albeit he had to make the changes too.
Yeah.
But for me, Pochettino is being slept on here massively. I think he can do great things. I think with the lack of European football next season, my prediction is pretty much the polar opposite to yours. I think Chelsea will win a trophy or get top 4 next season.
Okay.
I honestly do.
I think it will go disastrously and they'll sack him before January.
That is that's a Chelsea thing to do, but I can't see it. I think he's exactly like you said, he was always the timings were never aligned for him to join Man United. He was always the obvious choice, and he was touted even since Van Gaal was going, that he was sort of the obvious fit. He was hung out to dry by Spurs just for their Amazon Prime documentary, and I think he's I wouldn't say a great fit, but I think he's honestly a good manager. It was between, don't get me wrong, it was between him and Ten Hag, it seemed, for the job that United have now, and I'm relieved it's not Poch, but I don't think that's because he's a bad manager. I just think it's because Ten Hag was the better option.
Yeah, maybe so. I think with Poch, he's a manager that likes to feel loved by the club, and Chelsea don't ever give their managers love, if that makes sense. I mean, they did with Jose, but Jose won a hell of a lot with them, and obviously he was a great manager. But you look back at all of the managers that they've had since Jose Mourinho, I don't think that they've loved any of their managers. They're just Scolari, Ancelotti, Di Matteo, AVB,
Mourinho again.
Mourinho again. None of them. I just think that he will struggle without the connect with the fans. That's how I think. Potter, even Tuchel. They didn't even love Tuchel. He won the Champions League. What more did the guy have to do?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I just think that the fans must be at a point now where anything's better than what they've got now.
Anything's better than Frank.
He's a club legend and everything. Like, it's a complete difference. I know it's the same sort of, but like with Ollie at United, he'd done more than what was expected of him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Frank now is just, I don't know. He'll still always be a club legend, one of the best footballers to ever play the game. But as a manager, I don't think Chelsea fans was too disappointed to see him gone. And they'll know that the only way is up. Like any manager, any actual manager. Poch has been Spurs' most successful manager. Like, I know they haven't had success, but he's done more than anyone else has. I know. Where did Mourinho get them to? Was it the League Cup final before he got sacked?
Yeah.
He got them to the Champions League final.
Not bad, eh?
Yeah, I think talking about Spurs, they've been rejected by a few more managers. I think, was it the Ajax manager? Is his name Slot?
Yeah, Arne Slot. Yeah, he rejected them this week.
Celtics manager as well.
Yeah.
So no one wants to take it. It does seem like a bit of a poison chalice, but I don't know. I think for an ambitious young manager, I don't understand why Nagelsmann rejected them, to be honest. Like, his reputation might have already taken a bit of a dent in Germany because of the whole Bayern Munich thing, very political.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone who can pick up trophy, they've got the talent. Do you think maybe there's something to the Harry Kane stuff?
I do.
Because Spurs without Harry Kane are a bottom 10 club.
I think you're absolutely right. Maybe
someone agrees to go to Spurs, so then they go, "Oh yeah, thank you, well done for taking the job. By the way, we've sold your only goal scorer. Good luck.
Good luck with Richarlison."
Yeah, try and tell him to keep his shirt on, will you?
Yeah, he's an excellent striker. He scores a lot of goal. You mean goals? No, a lot of goal.
Can you believe that only, 6 months ago, he was scoring goal of the tournament in the World Cup?
Madness. Absolutely madness.
But yeah, no. In all seriousness, what do you think? Do you think that could have anything to do with it? The Kane thing?
Yeah, I think he's another one that's probably got a gentleman's agreement. If he can leave for a certain amount, he's gone. And if you're taking on a job like Spurs, again, they spent nearly £1 billion on their stadium. So if they've spent that much money, it's got to come from somewhere. It's going to come from the finances. You look at their assets.
Yeah.
Who are their assets? You got Harry Kane, Son. Then you go. Don't know who else you got. Romero.
I'd say Porro, Bentancur.
Oh yeah, Porro. He was great for them today.
He has been a bit of a shining light for them.
They signed him permanently, or is he on loan?
Yeah, no, it was a permanent deal, I believe, from Sporting Lisbon, was it?
Wow. Yeah,
I'm sure it was a permanent deal. You've made me doubt myself now. Let me just double check.
He's a very good player, but I don't think he's a left back. Sorry, a right back. I think he's more of a winger from his attacking abilities. Always seems to be just on the edge of the box.
Yeah, why does Spurs continuously play this three at the back with wing back things? Like, even throughout all their managers, it still kind of stays the same. Is it time to move on from that idea? It's not working.
They're just trying to get Eric Dyer in the centre back. They love Eric Dyer.
Yeah, they try and protect him. Yeah, I honestly think that they should get a good manager, because all jokes aside, they are a big club and they have the ability to spend money when it comes to it. You look at them when they went and snapped up Basuma and Perisic and Richarlison, although that's not proved to be great. They can pull in the signings that people want, and they can spend the money when they need to. But it just the Spursiness always comes out in the end. But if you can be that first manager to take on this team, grab it by the scruff of the neck and win a trophy, you're going to basically have a statue being carved out in your name, So
yeah.
I don't think they'll struggle to get a manager. Obviously, big names have rejected them. I can't think of any other names that might go there.
Sam Allardyce is going to be looking for a job shortly.
What about this guy that I've heard his name about 1 million times, Will Still?
Oh,
Did you know he gets fined £22,000 every time he officiates a game?
Yeah,
maybe him.
Maybe if he's got his coaching qualifications in time, maybe. Otherwise, they'll have to pay for a new stadium and £22,000 per game.
Yeah. Did I hear that Vincent Kompany turned it down as well, or am I thinking of something else?
No, I think you're right. A couple of months ago, the Burnley manager said something about it.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there was something I read. I couldn't remember if it was Spurs or not, but something about him rejecting a Prem job. Another one that I've heard being touted is Brendan Rodgers. I think if he offers, he won't believe his luck if he's offered the Spurs job. Surely,
if I was Daniel Levy, I would be going all out for Graham Potter.
Really,
1,000,000%. I think Graham Potter is the guy that they need. They need a good PE kit manager. Get rid of Suave Potter. Suave Potter was rubbish. Get back PE kit Potter. He was the best of the Potters. Get him back. Get him playing some good football. There's players that Spurs have signed over the years who have got unbelievable potential. I think of Ryan Sessegnon. He was such a hot prospect. They signed Jed Spence. They sent him out on loan. All of these great players that they just don't seem to do anything. And Ndombele, he was supposed to be incredible. Lo Celso, he was supposed to be incredible. I don't know whether or not it's just the hype of these players or whether the Spurs just ruins players. I'm not sure. Basuma, again, he was hot property at Brighton. Get Potter in. I think Potter will sort them out. That's who I'd go for.
Allow me to throw another wild name into the hat.
If you say Arsene Wenger.
No. Ruud van Nistelrooy, who recently quit as PSV manager. Now, obviously, PSV in the Dutch league, the Dutch are very, very well known as not being a one-team league by any stretch of the imagination. Ajax are quite dominant, but you've still got strong teams, Feyenoord, PSV being the other one. I think that's probably about it, right? But he quit basically saying he felt sort of hamstrung by The board wasn't able to make any sort of investments. And he thought they just weren't serious as a football club. He did take them to win. Didn't they win?
They won a cup double.
Yeah, they won the Carabao Cup and FA Cup of Holland, essentially, which is absolutely remarkable for his first year as a manager. He did the overlap thing with Gary Neville as well. If you haven't watched that, very, very interesting from a Man United fan anyway, listening to what he has to say and his time with Alex Ferguson and the lessons he's learned as a man and a human. He seems like a really likable guy. You know, I've obviously got this little passion for the Dutch anyway when it comes to Man United, but why not?
Everything that you said that he has problems with at PSV, he will 100% have at Tottenham. They won't back him with money. He'll have problems with the board.
I think he'll get backed with money, but yeah, the board decisions and I don't know. I feel like
I think they got to get rid of Levy first before you actually take a proper punt at that job. It's a bit of a poison chalice. If Antonio Conte couldn't do it, and he was an excellent manager, Jose Mourinho couldn't do it, and that's the only place that both of those great managers have gone that they haven't won a trophy.
Yeah.
You've got to say that there's a problem at the club rather than the staff that they're hiring.
But I don't think there was ever an issue with being backed from the board as such, because Mourinho was talking about wanting. He made it clear that he wasn't getting the players he wanted at United, Perisic being one of them, and that's one of the players he actually gets at Tottenham.
Conte signed Perisic.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, it was in the summer. They only signed him this year.
Right, okay. Oh, that's bizarre. I thought it was Mourinho that signed Perisic. Never mind that then. But yeah, I don't think you can accuse Tottenham of not getting the players that the managers want, but there's something there, and that's what I mean. It's a big job to take, but I don't know. He's just another name in the hat that I think could get a big job.
I always think that for some clubs like Tottenham, they're kind of like mid to top teams. They're like the class above, and I'm sorry, Ben, they're a class above West Ham. That before they go to the top four, that sort of club. I think you have to build a good core of English players, and Spurs, in their most successful periods, have had a core of good English players. They had, I'm going to say his name, Eric Dyer. At one point was decent. Dele Alli, Harry Kane, Trippier.
You could argue Fraser Forster, yeah, Trippier.
Walker, they had Ben Davies. At one point, he was playing okay.
He's Welsh, but okay.
Well, British. So,
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
But to build that core of players there and then build around them with some foreign flair, that's what that sort of element of club needs to do to become successful. And that was their most successful period when they got to the Champions League final. They had those players in there. So Arsenal are doing that now. They've got a core of English players that they're trying to run through the spine of the team. They just got to get back to their basics and sign some British players that will, know what it means to play for the clubs.
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, it's kind of every team's different. I mean, for United, obviously, ours is more of just build a solid spine with whoever fits the bill, sprinkle in some academy talent. But Tottenham just needs to get some sort of strategy, like you say, and it'll be interesting to see who their manager is. But yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again, if I was going to be the next prospect for the Spurs job, I'd want to know, is Harry Kane going to be here or not? That's the first question on my lips, because you build your team around him, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, yeah, Big Sam will be having a quiet, chippy tea tonight, won't he? Because he didn't get his big payout for keeping Leeds in the Prem. But
yeah. Pints of gravy on the way home.
Yeah, a couple of pints of gravy, that's it. Skills, welcome in, dude. I'm not late. Well, I mean, we started 50 minutes ago, but we'll let you off because you're always here anyway. Thank you very much for coming in, Skills. How are you feeling now, mate? End of the season, Skills. I bet you're glad it's over now as a Chelsea fan.
You see, Crystal Palace finished above them.
Did they?
They did. Good old Roy.
Oh, God, Roy Hodgson. Right, Roy Hodgson, I hope you've got your fucking pipe and slippers, a nice cup of Ovaltine, and you are relaxing, my mate. Get away from all this mess. You don't need it.
Yeah, he's on a nice rattan sofa.
Yeah. Last little segment, then just talk about the playoffs. Obviously, Luton got themselves promoted. The ugly side of football reared its head yet again when, what's his name? The Coventry player missed his penalty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yet more racist abuse. Just,
Kick it out. Horrible.
Yeah, there's all these, you think all these campaigns, how did taking a knee before a game stop any of this? Absolute bollocks. All this money in the Prem, start finding the people that are doing it and fucking do something about it. Beyond a joke now, isn't it?
Absolutely agree. Yeah.
Pictured, we've got the Oak stand at Kenilworth Road. Yes, those are people's houses, and that is how you get into the away end of Luton Stadium next year. Haaland's going to have to walk through that. Absolutely crazy.
He'll have to duck.
Yeah, absolutely. We had what was the one today? League Two?
League Two, yeah.
League Two final. And that was Carlisle winning after penalties.
Who did they play in the end?
Stockport County.
That's it.
And then you've got, of course, in Wembley Stadium, London, a massive Yorkshire derby for the Championship one tomorrow. Barnsley versus Sheffield Wednesday. That's going to be a good game.
League One, yeah.
Of course, in that League One player final, shouldn't be Sheffield Wednesday. It should be Peterborough United. However, Peterborough United, Arsenal Football Club, Borussia Dortmund, they're all battling it out for bottle of the season. Let's take a look at one of the memes. One of the best memes of this week. No one will ever bottle a league title like Arsenal. Borussia Dortmund, hold my beer. Yes, they were 2-0 down. Did you see any of it yesterday? They were 2-0 down at half time.
I was following it, and yeah, was it Bayern scored in like the 80th minute or something, which meant that were they playing Mainz?
Dortmund were playing Mainz, but Munich were playing Cologne.
Cologne, that's it. Yeah. Poor old Dortmund. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a horse in the race or dog in the fight or whatever it's called, but I would have liked to have seen the apple cart upset just for 1 year, but no, Munich take it again. Well, hey, that isn't the new Farmers League, in my opinion. Second favourite meme that we've seen this week. An old man helping the lady across the road. Can you manage? No, I don't want the Spurs job. That was a good one. That was posted by Sean in the Discord. And then my personal favourite, Specsavers. I have to say, Specsavers are always coming out with pretty good ones. It's the Chelsea eye test. Are you there, Skills? Are you there? It's the Chelsea eye test. Look at all them L's.
Like a Welsh town, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the beginning. If you've got any good football memes, again, everything's in the Discord. That is the best central place to get your memes in. And any good memes that we get sent, we're going to start putting on all the week's podcasts. So yeah, get them in there. Yeah, that's about it then for playoffs. Obviously, the final hopes of our season rest on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Do you want to give a score prediction?
Ooh.
You won't upset me, mate. I know we're probably going to take a smashing.
I think it'll be a 3-1 win, and you'll get the goal late on as well. It'll be a consolation. I think the game will be done. Wembley's a different beast. The pitch seems a bit bigger and it seems a bit heavier when you play there. You get a lot of people that pull up with cramp, but I think Man City, they're just a different machine. They're going to win the treble, mate. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, I don't know about the treble, but someone asked me a hypothetical. They said, would you take losing the FA Cup final if it meant that Inter Milan win the Champions League final? So we miss out, but also Man City miss out.
Okay.
And I'm pathetic, and of course I'd say yes. Like,
would you say that?
Yeah, I don't want fucking Man City winning the treble, the bankers.
Ooh. Yeah, but they wouldn't win the treble if you win the FA Cup.
No, that's the thing. Would you take us losing it to Man City for them to lose the Champions League? So that means they'll only have the double.
Yeah, I guess you've only got the European trophy over them, haven't you?
Yeah, and I'm petty like that, and I would take it because I want us. We've got the treble, okay? You can't have the better treble when we've got it.
If you're a Man United player, do you go out for blood and just start hacking the players down if you're 3-0 down?
I don't know why I thought you were about to say start hacking their phones and leaking their messages.
Would you do that?
No, you don't. You don't. Because if you're 3-0 down, you've already lost, right? And then the only thing you've got, well, you might not, but the only thing you've got is your dignity and your pride. But you're not going to do yourselves any favour if you start hacking down people, you know.
Mm.
I do think it's a final. There is a chance on the day. We obviously won a final at Wembley this season. Man City have got the focus ahead. There is a chance that we win, but realistically, I feel like we're going to lose. We went and played. Who did we beat in the semi-final?
Fulham? Was it Fulham?
No.
Right. Brighton?
My brain. Brighton, that was it. Brighton, and then they had Sheffield Wednesday at Wembley, right? So, I don't know. I feel like
we've had the harder run.
We've had the harder run, but I don't know. It's just all about on the day. But yeah, I feel like we've lost it before it started, to be honest, as much as I hate to say it. Yeah. Ben thinks there's no chance in to beat Man City. There's a weird part of me that feels like they do have a chance, but a very slim one. It's a neutral stadium. There's no home advantage.
They've got a Croatian.
Yeah, Inter Milan have got a Croatian player in the squad. And yeah, I don't know. Just again, finals. They're one game. They're 90 minutes, 120 if there's stoppage time. Anything can happen. You know, we've seen worse results and stranger results happen. United have a better chance of winning than Inter winning the Champions League. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because it's you. I think it's because it's your own team. You have less confidence.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. We will absolutely see. That leaves us just about out of topics for tonight. Then, Sean, is there anything else that you wish to add before we?
The only last thing that I want to say is that Jose Mourinho had a press conference this week, and he said that Tottenham is the only club that he went to, and he didn't love them. He has no feelings for Tottenham whatsoever, and I thought that was a really nice thing to say. So that's the only thing I've got today.
Yeah, all the Tottenham fans will be going, "Oh, he's fucking rent-free, mate. Absolutely rent-free." But no.
There's a special place in my heart. I love you, Jose.
I think that's fair enough. Yeah, Jose just continues to provide the elements. I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to be rooting him on in the Europa League final. I really want him to win it. I think he's a great manager. He's just provided so many good moments. Even as a Man United fan, but when he was at Chelsea, he was amazing. He was like a revolution, wasn't he? I think he was one of the few new era managers that really gave Ferguson the heebie-jeebies. Really introduced a new wave of young, talented managers, shall we say.
Yeah. So Jose took charge, I think, in 2004, and I used to go on the school bus every day, and Chris Moores used to be the Radio 1 DJ back then. I don't know if you've ever heard the Jose Mourinho songs that Chris Moores used to do.
No.
I will send you them later. They are incredible.
I'll have to have a listen to these. Yeah, was it I was going to say, was it when Chris Moores was funny, but that was only for probably 1 week in 2000.
Yeah, they were funny. I'll send them you later.
Right. Yeah, I'll have to have a look into them for sure. Get them in the Discord as well. All the members can then see them. Yeah, but all the best of luck to Jose. I'm sure there's something else we may have forgot. It'll come to us. But yeah, we had another little recording session this morning for more TikTok content. So as always, I'll say if you haven't followed us on TikTok, it's at the Pretend Pundits, at the Pretend Pundits on all socials except Twitter, which is just Pretend Pundits. Please feel free to give us a follow over on those. think the only one we don't really use is Twitter, because Twitter is a cesspit that we only use as and when we want to. But yeah, getting out the YouTube podcast still, the TikTok content, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll be back next week. I'm going to be very upset next week. Is there anything else happening this week? When's the Europa League final? Is it Wednesday?
I think it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Yeah, I'll be rooting for the old Roma. West Ham, when's that? That's June, isn't it?
Yeah, is that the 2nd of June or something?
Let's have a look. It's the 7th of June. Blimey.
Wow.
So saving the big one till last day, Ben. Yeah, we'll be back on next week, mate. How much we'll have to discuss, I have absolutely no idea. Again, like I say, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be crying.
I'll be gentle with you.
Sean's always gentle. Yeah. And yeah, we're going to try and get some more stuff put out. We do have one final YouTube video to do, the final of our Combined 11 series. That's still the sort of, not on hold, but I don't know why we haven't done that. We'll see what's coming. That's all part of the fun. We don't like to have it too organised. We need to keep you guessing as to what comes next. So yeah, as I said, guys, if you haven't done so already and you enjoyed the video, give us a like. It really does help us out. And hit the subscribe button if you hasn't too. I think we're on 150 subscribers now.
Excellent.
So yeah, we're enjoying the growth. We're still enjoying putting the content out. We're probably going to have a look at stream times if we can in the future. Try and bring it a little bit earlier, just because I know to accommodate for all the people that come. Late Sunday nights aren't always ideal, but hey, we live our lives as we do, right?
And we're ready for the fantasy football thing to start for next season.
Yeah, fantasy football. So that was another thing. This is another reason to get involved in the Discord. So 2 things. 1, we want to start doing some content involving our viewers and followers. So the quiz type content we do on TikTok, we want to start challenging our followers to see if they're smarter than us, which they probably are, let's be honest. And then we're going to have a FPL Fantasy League next year. And there's going to be prizes for, depending on how many people join. If there's a lot of people in, we might get a couple of prizes for 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And then we're also going to do a forfeit between me and Sean, whoever finishes lower. What that forfeit is, I don't know. That's what we've got to decide. We've got to put the stakes on the line. So by all means, there's a suggestion channel in the Discord. Drop a suggestion what you think the forfeit could be in there. We'll have a think about it. Did you say you're adamantly not going to wear a Tottenham shirt, or?
We'll see. If
just wear your birthday suit with a Tottenham shirt on top and walk around city centre, yeah?
Well, like full Donald Duck.
Yeah, just go full Donald Duck. Does that mean you have to wear a hat too? But yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good fun, and we'll try and get as many people in as we possibly can. The more, the merrier, as I say. And like I said, there will be prizes up for grabs as well, depending on how many people we can get in. Might be, I don't know, a little voucher, a little cash prize of some sort. Ben says it's 1 a.m. here. Please make it earlier. Hey, we'll try our absolute best. Okay, we'll see what we can do. We just obviously we've both got busy schedules, and we work full time. Family. Well, I've got cats. Sean's got kids, so you know they're the same. Yeah, need to stop them from wrecking the house and licking themselves. And yeah, we'll do the absolute best we can. Again, the central point is the Discord. If you ever want to reach out to us, it's in there. So yeah, thank you very much as always for coming and tuning in. Sean, thank you very much, mate. It's always a pleasure to do this. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, man.
Peace.